Welcome back class to our physics lesson. This is teacher Hussein again. Last time we looked at determining the sizes of different materials using different equipments like micrometer screw gauge. You should know how to use those equipments. Today, we're going to be like scientists and crack the code to figure out a really cool property of materials called density. Have you ever wondered why some objects float while others sink? It all depends on their density. Density is like a secret code that tells us how much stuff is packed into a material. Let's see how we can unlock this secret. We'll need to measure the mass of the material. How can we measure mass accurately? Secondly, once we have the mass, we need to measure the volume of our material using a Eureka can. What are some ways we can do that? This can be done using an electronic beam balance, as shown in the performed experiment in our video. Now comes the key part. We'll use a formula stated at first to combine the mass and volume to calculate the density as follows. Density equals mass divided by volume. Density is basically how much stuff is squeezed into a specific space. Imagine a sponge and a marble. The marble has a higher density because it has more mass packed into a smaller volume compared to the sponge. We can think of density as mass per unit volume. So, the higher the density, the more mass is crammed into a smaller volume. Units for density. When talking about density, we typically use grams per cubic centimeter or kilograms per cubic meter as the SI unit. What do you think will happen to the density if we take a bigger piece of the same material? Can you think of any real-world applications where knowing the density of a material is important? Why do you think ships made of steel can float even though steel is much denser than water? Congratulations, scientists! You've successfully determined the density of our material. What can density help us in our daily life? Remember, density is a helpful property that tells us a lot about different materials. It can help us predict their behavior and choose the right material for a specific job. In order for you to identify a material like gold, you must have the constant value of its density. Now that you know how to find density, can you think of other materials you'd like to investigate? Can you try that out? It's quite easy. Follow up the steps as explained to determine their densities. I really love physics because it is a real-life experience subject that we cannot go without in our world today. Next time we shall engage ourselves in calculating densities of materials and we are provided with data required. Until then. Bye bye.